And really what this ends up being is a route setting session, deep thoughts with Josh on home wall route setting. Thinking too much maybe, and not putting enough holds on them. That's kind of the flow I want to go with. Alright, so I'm going to try something different on the route setting for these next two routes. Since this one here starts here, and it's got the furthest distance laterally to go, it's going to finish over on the moonboard up there. I'm going to choose to do these next two routes based on like the path I want the body to go. So I haven't really decided what kind of holds or what kind of movements I want, but I want to pick the path that I want to go first. So for this one, I want to start it here and come off pretty much diagonal and then finish up there. But for the diamonds route, since it's like a short distance because it's just going to finish on these rails here, I'm going to have this one swoop lateral before it comes back. They're kind of going to do a crisscross as far as the paths go. So I think by creating that pathway constraint and having the pathway in mind, that creates a constraint in my mind which will open up some creativity for the actual routes that I set. So I'm going to go ahead and dig in the hold bins and find some holds that inspire me for those paths. So while I'm over here digging through the holds, I'll give you a little teaser of what I got going on for holds. You may have seen these in previous videos, and obviously I've been throwing them up on the walls here. But in addition to everything that's already on the walls, this is the used hold collection that I have. So in this bin, I've got it partitioned. I've got screw-on holds that will go in very specific spots, as well as like some really tiny little technical foot jibs. So I think that'll be great for when I want to set really hard problems. And then I've got this separation here are all holds that use the martini shaped bolt or the button shaped bolt, so I just like to be able to find them. But they tend to be smaller and thinner, and so you get a little bit more crimps and slopies and things like that. So these are what I have left of like bolt-on footholds. They're not the most inspiring shapes and they kind of stick out a lot, so who knows where they'll go, but I have a few available there. Then I've got a partition of, these are slopers, and except for these two. So these are like slopey style holds. These are more pocket style holds. These are more pinch style holds. We got this partition here is more in-cut crimpy style holds, and then these are more like flat edges, so they're still, you know, flat, but they're not quite as in-cut. And then jugs. So now I'm kind of looking for holds that inspire me, or combinations of holds. So I'm going to go ahead and dig through the holds and see what I come up with. Oh yeah, that solo one's really good. This one is really used. I got it used. It's really polished here. So this one's going to require some really technical, but I think I like it, so I'm going to try and use that one. Oh yeah, this one. This one's great. I think the footwork is going to be key on these slopers. Oh yeah, that's too hard. That is hard to hold there, but there's a better side to it, so I'm going to try to flip it. Okay, I like it. I just gotta figure out what foot I'm gonna use to go up to that. Ooh, yeah, very interesting. I gotta remember that there's footholds over here. So that one or that one are on. This hold is a little bit too hard. But what about like this? It's still sloper. It's just got more grip. Try this one. Yeah, I kind of like that. It does have a dyno, so it's a bit of commitment. But what I like about it is, if it's a showstopper, it's the last move. It's definitely doable, but I'll have to be conserving energy on the rest of the tree. I like that. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and tape that as spades. Now I'm gonna look at doing some pinches, but I don't want it to go straight up there because that's such a short distance. So I'm gonna kind of walk this way and then come back. So my pathway for that, I'm gonna pinch from here, maybe the first next pinch should be here. And then I don't want to be able to get to that, like just dyno to it, skip to it. You know how I can do that? I can avoid the dyno if I don't have any good feet over here. Yeah, I won't be able to dyno that. Yeah, liking where this is going in my head. 2 pinches, side by side. This pinch here is not very good, and it definitely won't be good in bump, but it's got this little spot for a foot, which eventually I'll need a foot, so that'll be good. So here, not very good. Feet here, right hand pinch here. This one's a little too good, so I might avoid this one. I think I got my rope using a couple existing holds. That one came up pretty quick, and I'm kind of pleased with it. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my feet once I get crossed up here. Okay, I had to move a hold, but this hold wasn't incorporated with a route yet, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with moving that hold. And I feel like this makes it cool. The only question is this breakable? So from here and here, is this any good? But I think without good feet right below here, I think it's not good. The only foot I'm going to give that one, that one. Oh no, it's broken. I gotta skip that move. I can make it worse for the left hand. This is a thought that you'll have to think about with road setting. Yes, I can skip the intended sequence. But does that make it easier or harder? Or the same? So here's another deep thoughts with Josh about home wall road setting. So in a gym, of course, I would want to do my best to make it so that you can't skip moves and force a sequence. And in my brain, I just caught myself doing that on the home wall too. But here's the thing about the home wall. It's your wall. And you can make your own rules about your routes and things like that. So if I want this to train a specific thing, I can make myself do that specific thing. Or if I want to put my own rules on the climbs, then I can put my own rules on the climbs. And one of the rules I can put on this climb is you have to use each of the marked holds. So if I put those rules on these, then I would be forced to use this hold that I was using when I route set somehow. So then the best way to do it would be to do it this way. And I actually got the idea for having in-house rules like this exact rule here. You must use all the marked holds from a friend online, Jaron Climbs. I'll put his Instagram up here. And check him out on Instagram. He does a lot of spray wall videos on his Instagram. And that's his rule for the Retro Flash app, is that if there's a hold marked, he's got to use it somehow. So I think I might be ready to mark this one, even though I think you could theoretically pinch that. The only other thing I could do is make this one worse, and maybe I will. Maybe I'll flip those two. But outside of that change, you are still allowed to make your own rules. Yeah, I think that's good. I think it makes it too hard to get the foot up. Yes, it's possible in isolation, but getting that foot up to this foothold, it makes it harder. So I think the intended sequence is going to be good. So that's the diamonds route. So I took a little break, had dinner with the family, and now it is a little bit later at night. But we've got more routes to set, so let's get after it. I brought my helper in here, Gavin.
Bye-bye.
Gavin's gonna help me out. Now I'm kind of just taking on this next route or two. I'm just gonna take some inspiration from some of my favorite holds. So down here I've picked out some of my favorite shapes, or some shapes that I was just really drawn to here, including this green one here, this two-handed one. So I'm thinking I want to use a match on this one. So that's what I'm gonna look to for the club route. Thinking something like this. This club's route might come out to the arete and then come back. So it's not just straight up. So I'm thinking it might be like this. And then maybe out here around the arete. So I've moved things around quite a few times. Just felt really contrived to get over to that K. So now I'm going a little bit more of a direct route, straight up, and then just finishing over there. Just so it doesn't feel I don't want it to be weird, just to be weird. Yeah, I think that'll do for now. So that is now ace, king, queen, jack, spades, diamonds, clubs, and hearts. So this is the new stamina tree, and I thank you for joining me for this video and for the route setting. I want to encourage you to check out this video right here for the version of this that I did on Real World Climbing Part 4, my previous home wall. And don't forget to clip the chains on the subscribe button. That way we'll see you on future videos.